What's up everyone? In this video I'm going to explain what it means to match the enemy, why it's always the best strategy, and why it's even better in Season 16. So I'm going to start with a short analogy. Let's pretend you're a 3-year-old and there's another 3-year-old that you don't like. Let's call him Gerbert, and he mains Vein Top or something. Anyway, this is about matching the enemy, remember. So let's pretend that you have one toy and he has one toy. Let's say you have 2 toys, okay? So you have 2 toys, he has 1 toy, and there's a toy here, and there's a toy here. Sorry, there's a toy here, because you're in the toy room, right? There's toys everywhere. And you don't like Gerbert, so you want all the toys to yourself. And you have 2 toys, so you would beat him in like a toddler 1v1. So, instead of you getting this toy, and him getting this toy, you should first just wait and see where Gerbert is going. Let's say Gerbert starts going here. Bam, you go intercept him, collect his toy, now you have that toy, and then afterwards, you go and get the last toy, and you know, maybe you can take his toy too. But now let's translate this to League of Legends. Hopefully you saw how that was the best strategy, because you get all the toys, right? As opposed to you getting one and him getting one. So let's take this League of Legends example. As you can see, red team is winning because they just have more towers. They're just in the lead right now, just trust me. So blue team is sieging the bot tower and red team is sieging the top tower. Now what will probably happen here is, assuming people don't die, maybe Akali or Galio will die, but in general, Akali will go back here and Galio will go back here, and both teams will lose the tower. You know what I'm saying? Now this is even. So, you know, it's not necessarily bad for red team, but what could have happened is, let's put this back here, Lee Sin and Rakan, instead of going for this play, they see where the enemy is making a play and maybe recall or just walk over. And then you guys contest here because red team is stronger, right? They have 2 toys. So red team is going to win this 3v3 and push them out of here. So blue team gets absolutely nothing, and red team is getting things, maybe not as much things as getting a tower, right? But they're getting more than blue team is, because blue team is getting absolutely nothing. So basically that's kind of what it means to match someone, where instead of trading toys, you kind of go for the same toy because you know you're gonna get the toy if you both go for the same toy. So this is kind of something you do when you're ahead. But now let's talk about why this is more OP in Season 16. I'm actually gonna bring up another example on this website, this very useful website. This one. Let's pretend that, so everyone's laning normally, right? Everyone's in a normal position, whatever. Junglers are jungling, bot laners are bot lane, mid laners are mid lane. Let's say that there's a dragon spawning, right? And Aurora wants to come over to the dragon. Because Aurora is stronger than Olaf, she's like, alright, I can go get dragon. Well, what Aurora should do is make sure that even though she's at dragon, she should get back top as soon as possible before Olaf can start hitting the tower. Because if Aurora is trading, getting this dragon for plates, then you know, that's what she's trading. But it's worse in Season 16 because there's plates on every tower, if you don't know that already. So Olaf hitting the tower is a lot better for Olaf than if Olaf was hitting the tower last season, or any season before that, right? All of these towers will have plates on them. So Aurora wants to always match Olaf, make sure she never lets Olaf hit the tower, even a few autos, even 1 auto, right? Because of the crystal thing, if you know about that. So, let's say, you know, this is like start of the game, all plates are up, all towers are up, right? But let's say this is later in the game and Aurora wants to do dragon. What you should do is make sure Olaf is pushed back here first. You know, make sure he's pushed back before she goes to dragon. And then make sure she doesn't linger at dragon too long to let Olaf push it out. Because you can always make this mistake of, you know, lingering at the play too long and they push the other side of the map. But it's just even worse to do now that the plates are in existence, if that makes sense. So, just in general, matching people is the supreme strategy because you can make sure they don't get any toys, but it's even better in Season 16 due to the plates existing. And I hope you learned something, and thanks for watching.